Am I the asshole for refusing to buy my stepdaughter a car like my daughters? This is a throwaway account for privacy reasons. I, F38, have a 16-year-old daughter. About 7 years ago her dad and I divorced because he found out he was gay. Him being the only breadwinner, and a high earner at that, and me being a housewife, he preferred to let us live in our house, a big one in a gated community, and continued paying all our expenses and giving me spending money to maintain my lifestyle. 2 years later I met my current husband, a year later we married and he moved in with me and my daughter. Him and my ex are great friends, especially since my ex is still very much a part of our life. Also as a wedding gift he gave me his half of the house. Now I own it in full. My husband has a daughter with his ex, they have shared custody and she lives with us half the time. The problem is that my ex pays for our daughter to go to a really expensive private school, buys her expensive gifts, and for her birthday he bought her a $60,000 car. My husband can't afford the same for his daughter. My daughter and her stepsister do not have the best relationship, mainly because my husband's ex hoped that they would be getting back together, and keeps poisoning her daughter. My daughter used to share her stuff until her stepsister started ruining them on purpose. That was when my husband made a rule that they can't borrow from each other. I stay out of it since she refuses to see me as a parent and I won't force her. My husband has a good job, but nothing as close as to what my ex earns, and since we both decided that the house is enough help from my ex, our income is just what he earns. Which in my opinion is more than enough. Now my stepdaughter's 16th birthday is coming up. She asked for the same car that my ex gave my daughter. We refused of course and said we would buy her a car that fits our budget. She threw a tantrum and threatened my husband that she would never talk with him again if he didn't get her the same car. He is wavering but I refuse. $60,000 plus is just under what he makes a year. It will drown us in debt. We are still paying off his student loans and some medical debt he has. But on the other hand he loves his daughter a lot, and I feel partly responsible since she wouldn't have asked for it if my daughter didn't get the car for her birthday. So am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Your ex bought your daughter the car, right? So tell your stepdaughter that her mother can buy her a car to make it equal. Not the asshole. Like you said you can't afford it, that is enough reason to not buy it. If she continues tell her in the spirit of fairness her mom should be the one getting it for her, since your daughter got it from the parent that is not part of your relationship. Not the asshole. It is way out of your budget. The fact that you guys are offering to buy her a car at all is more than a lot of teenagers get. Is it unfair that your daughter has a $60,000 car while your stepdaughter won't? I mean, I can see how it seems that way from a teenager's perspective. But your daughter received that gift from her father, not from you or your new husband. It would be one thing if you and hubby decided to buy your daughter a car but not your stepdaughter. But she can't demand a gift from you that your daughter got from someone else. Not the asshole. Really, it seems almost irresponsible for any 16-year-old to have a $60,000 car. I hope your ex is paying for that insurance too. Not the asshole. Stepdaughter will have to learn sometime that others will possess things that she wants but isn't able to afford. Some kids don't even get cars for their 16th birthday at all. She sounds entitled. Though hopefully your daughter isn't flaunting her $60,000 car in the stepdaughter's face. Not the asshole. I understand you stepdaughter is going through some big emotions, but I have to be blunt and say she needs some big counseling to go with that. She's not emotionally capable of understanding, and needs some help outside the family. Not the asshole. Your ex could afford it and your current husband can't. That's all there is to it. That's life. He doesn't need to go into debt over a car. The stepdaughter is playing her parents against each other. You are doing well with being the adult bystander in this craziness. I wouldn't be surprised if stepdaughter asked to live with her mom for a while. Believe me, it won't last. But she needs for one of her parents to call out her behavior. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for banning Mill out of my house after she hung a picture of my husband's ex on the wall? My husband, 30, and I, 31, have just bought our first house together. We're loving it and we're excited to decorate it together. Unfortunately my husband travels a lot for work and we've already had new furniture orders arrive but I couldn't do it all myself. My mother-in-law, offered to help and I agreed. Yesterday, I got back from work at 8 and was shocked to see one of the wall was full of framed pictures that Mill put there. That is not the main problem because these pictures were from his childhood, graduation, birthdays, and then I saw the biggest framed picture of them all and is him and his ex on their wedding day. Context. Mill adores my husband's ex. She brings her up all the time and reminisces about the past years with her. Not only that, but she includes her in events and holidays which caused issues between us. I lashed out at Mill asking what the hell she put that picture on the wall for and how she thought it was an appropriate thing to do. I told her to take it down in that instance, but she defensive and said, "This is part of Derek's life and you cannot erase it." Then went on about how many hours she spent working on this wall and how I should try to be a little bit more appreciative. I lost my cool and flipped out on her. I took a share and removed the picture. She started arguing with me, asking what's wrong with me and calling me crazy. I told her to take the picture and leave, but she tried to say that it wasn't just the ex in that picture but my husband as well, but I told her I'd throw it out if she won't leave. She left but started texting me saying stuff like jealous, bitter, overbearing, controlling, etc. I responded telling her she disrespected me in my own home by what she did and proceeded to ban her from the house. She called my husband and forwarded a screenshot of the ban. He called me and we talked. He then said his mom ought to know better, but she didn't and I was right to be angry, but banning her from the house was an overreaction, like a crazy overreaction. He tried to get me to call her and cancel the ban, but I refused. He then ranted about how unfair I was being to make such decision when it's our house, not just mine. Conversation got nowhere and am now waiting for him to get home to talk. My in-laws are upset with me, saying I went overboard with this reaction and urged me to let Mill back into the house and drop this whole thing like it never happened. Am I the asshole for banning after this? Not the asshole, it was a super inappropriate thing to do. Mill knew exactly what she was doing and now she is succeeding in driving a wedge between you and your husband. He should 100% have your back on this and his mother should apologize. Good luck for the future. If this is an indication of how things are going to be, you may well need it. Not the asshole. Hang up a photo of you and your ex and see how hubby feels about it. Oh, it's childish and immature? Well, so is his mother. He needs to back you here. If he doesn't, is only going to continue to happen. She's going to keep on doing this to you until he stops it or you two break up. It sounds like she's trying to do that so he can get back with his ex. Hang a picture of you and your ex. See whether that is disrespectful. Not the asshole. That's very weird behaviors. I hate to say it, but you need to be prepared for this not being the end of it. This is classic Nightmare Mill location flag. If you feel comfortable, you could offer to back off the ban on the condition she stops doing things like that and that she cannot send horrible texts as she did that day. I'm sorry though, I think you need to be prepared that this is the first of many such incidents. Not the asshole. This was a malicious power play from her. She hung that picture to show you that she will never accept you. It was a slap in the face. Your husband is a major asshole too for not completely having your back. Not the asshole. I would have shredded that picture right in front of her. She has no right to do that to you. Not the asshole. You might enjoy just no Mill, but you not only have a problem with her, but your husband too. This is a massive overstep and he should recognize that. The ex is no longer a part of any of their lives, and if she does not want to adjust, she can't be either and has to recognize this. Who even does that? Don't feed the drama monster. She is looking for drama, don't give it to her. The best way to drive her mad is not to react at all emotionally to her BS. That doesn't mean to revoke the ban. Protect your boundaries. But don't give her what she craves. It's hard to pretend to be cool, but starve her of her drama and she will move on. She did this for an emotional kick and she got it from you. Next time, just smile and tell her she is banned from your life. But smile and talk calmly. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for upgrading to a business class ticket while my wife sits in economy? So I, M25, and my wife, F24, are going to the United States from Japan for a month for vacation, and when we booked the tickets, we initially thought that we were going to be sitting next to each other, but I had the option to upgrade my seat to business with miles and I did. Well, my wife is not too happy about that because she wanted to sit together on the 12-hour flight. But it's overnight so we're gonna be sleeping the whole flight, so I didn't think it mattered. I told her that and she got upset because she thinks I chose business class over her and that's rude apparently. I said to her that she's just jealous, in a teasing, joking way, and she got upset and told me to ask the airline to see if I can switch my seat back to economy. I said hell no because I'm not going to miss my opportunity to sit in business class, which looks amazing. BTW, look up, Anna the Room. In my eyes, it's just a 12-hour flight and it doesn't matter if I sit next to my wife or not. If it's really bad though, I still have a week before my flight to maybe get it changed. Am I the asshole? Edit. Yeah, I'm the ah. I'm buying her the upgrade to sit next to me in business. I offered to switch seats but she really wanted to sit next to me, I guess. You are the asshole. You literally ditched your wife and then mocked her. You are absolutely the asshole here and she is completely right to be upset. You are the asshole. If there's only one upgrade my missus would be offered it first. Then she would knock it back because she would prefer to be with me than comfortable alone. Which is sort of what marrying someone is meant to mean, don't you think? I wouldn't cash in miles until there was enough to either upgrade us both, buy us both a vacation trip. JFC, you don't know how to be married at all. You are the asshole. Business class comes with more space, better service, and a quieter atmosphere. You're sending a message to your wife that you deserve all of that but she doesn't. Why didn't you upgrade both seats so you could both have the better experience? You are the asshole. Either upgrade both seats or neither. Upgrading just yours comes across as very selfish. Just, a 12-hour flight isn't a sentence I hear that often. I've done 12-hour flights several times and they suck even when you have company you love. That flight is going to be even more awful for your wife if she's stuck next to a stranger. Whether you understand why or not, your wife has made it clear how she feels and you are the asshole if you ignore that. You are the asshole. In my eyes, it's just a 12-hour flight and it doesn't matter if I sit next to my wife. It matters to her. Does that matter to you? How are people like you married? My wife's friends have husbands like you and we just cringe at some of the stories. You are the asshole, huge ah. Yes, you are the asshole. And quite possibly single very soon. You are the asshole. Sorry, honey. My physical comfort is more important to me than your company. Am I the asshole for how I reacted to my boyfriend's game character? My boyfriend, 23 male, of 7 years recently started playing a new game called Black Desert. I'd like to preface with the fact that he's not addicted to playing video games, and we both have a healthy, balanced routine. I, 22F, had only ever heard of the game he was playing in passing, and I don't have much interest in MMO titles in the first place, but we have a few games we play together, and I thought I may as well try the game with him. However, after I start and finish a few quests, I meet up with him in-game, and I am met with almost a mirror image of myself. The model wasn't perfect obviously, but the character looked almost exactly like me, down to the facial structure and body type. I was very reasonably creeped out, and I asked him why he had gone out of his way to make a character out of me. His weird as fuck explanation was that, if I have to look at a character model while I play a game, why not look at someone I already find hot? I said that he was being creepy and obsessive, and that I needed a bit of distance, so I've been staying at a friend's place for about 2-3 hours. I just can't get the picture out of my head of my boyfriend spending hours creating a lifelike sculpture of me in a character creation menu. I'm starting to feel a bit bad for how I reacted, though. So Reddit, am I the asshole? Title should be, my boyfriend finds me attractive and I am creeped out, am I the asshole? You are the asshole, like, really. You are the asshole, and yeah, this was a pretty big overreaction on your part. What was so weird about his explanation? If he had painted a picture of you, would you be creeped out? You are the asshole, we all get to set our own boundaries, but you're so creeped out by a video game character that your boyfriend of 7 years made to look like you that you can't be in the same house as him? That does not seem reasonable. I don't actually think it's reasonable to be creeped out by this, at all. This is the weirdest thing ever to be creeped out about. You are the asshole. You are the asshole, sorry. Like you never made the Sims characters modeled after friends, family, or you famous people. You are the asshole. If after 7 years, what finally sets you off is the fact that your boyfriend is still attracted to you. That's pretty rough. I find it cute when my husband makes characters that look like me. I don't think of it as him trying to be me, just that I'm a convenient visual reference, and that even years later he still finds me attractive. I see it as a compliment. I'm not prepared to call you an asshole because you may have a reason for feeling so bothered, i.e., maybe you once had a stalker who took pictures of you without your consent, but I don't think many people with committed SOs would consider this creepy at all. Unless there's more context, I do think you're overreacting somewhat. Mild YTA, if your musician boyfriend wrote a song about you then it wouldn't be creepy. He's made you the heroine of his story. That's awesome.